I think this is gonna be a quick stream because I am good at this game.
3 hours later.
Ah! Fuck this game! What up? Percy here, and if you're watching from the video that I'm going to make out of it, welcome to a special video where it's been a long time coming. I've played this game for 6 years and some months, approaching 7 once we reach the new standard. A lot of things have happened to me with regards to Hearthstone that I feel that my previous joke goal of getting to 499 wins in one stream, or in at least one video is gonna be a joke. But here we are. I've continued to play Hearthstone for well over 6 years now. I've gotten money out of it through both gaming and casting, so I would say that Hearthstone has changed my life for the better. With that out of the way, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go for 1,000 wins on all of the classes because that wasn't the original goal. There wasn't a 1,000 wins reward when I started playing. So yeah, I will try to get 500 wins with Demon Hunter, and I'm gonna sell my soul to Demon Hunter because I only have 38 wins and I'm just level 31 with the class because I personally think the class is boring. I really think the class is boring, and the Il'gynoth OTK just died because the soul package got nerfed. What we're gonna do is we're going to make all of my favorite decks from the past 6 years that I've played Hearthstone, and I'm going to make it. I'm gonna play through Wild and going to try to win with. I'm gonna try to win with them to get my 500th win. So this is the order we're gonna play in. Unahin natin ang Topsy Turvy Priest. It's time to claim that 500 wins, sakto 4 o'clock. Topsy Turvy Priest. Lahat tayo 499 wins. Straight into it. Sana walang mag-concede agad. Sana hindi odd. Let's go! Let's go! Tara na mga kapatid. 500 wins! Oh my goodness. It's been a long time coming.
So yeah, what up? Percy here from a week after the entire 500 wins escapade that I did last week Sunday. So I realized I didn't give 2020 the proper send-off in most of my social media channels. So I'd like to take this time to do so. While you're witnessing my 500th win on all of the 9 OG classes in Hearthstone, I'd like to take this time to reflect on 2020 for me as a person. At the end of 2019, I made a video on my best of Rainbow Six Siege highlights. I love that video to bits. I love that game to bits. The compilation, even though it was just a mix and match of the clips that I had, which I didn't make into a proper video over the course of 2019, it showed me that, hey, I can actually edit videos in a coherent manner. It might not be the best at the moment, but it's not so hard to improve on garbage. Right, Captain Price? I thought to myself that this is something that I can do. This is something that I can improve on. Being able to use a video editing software is a life skill that's useful in this digital age. So it hit both my interests and a possible career. I would think that this is something that I could do if only corporate life didn't get in the way. But as Sir Leo points out to me during our sessions of practice for casting, that it's okay for me to have this kind of work that's not related to esports because work experience will mean a lot, and you'll be able to translate that work experience to not only other work but towards esports, whether you're going at it as a professional player or as a talent or someone behind the scenes even. So as much as work, the improvement that I wanted for myself was not something that I found in work. It's something that I am still looking for at this moment, but it's something that is more readily visible when I do content or esports stuff. Luckily, I get my big break towards becoming an esports talent when Ma'am Kara of AKG Games offered me a casting job for it's just one day for 4 hours guest cast for the Hearthstone Elite Series, which I unfortunately didn't qualify for. And that only snowballed for the better when the folks over at Esports Academy reached out to me and asked if I would be open to do the casts for the University Alliance Cup and the National Campus Open. It's always a nice feeling for me to be involved with the growth of campus esports here in the Philippines and esports in the Philippines in general. We're getting closer to being in the mainstream, being approved in the eyes of the older generations that we're not just play. I always loved going against those people who say that wala ka nang ginawa kundi mag-computer. At when right now in this pandemic, the digital age is something that is the way to go. I really enjoyed contributing both my knowledge on the game of Hearthstone and maybe my potential loud obnoxiousness to bring the hype to a game that is, I would say, difficult to hype, especially for people who don't have the patience to play card games. I do understand that card games can get boring, can get stale at some point in time, but it's par for the course. Though I feel as much as a meta stagnates and dies down, so do my skills that I've had for years on end, and they're just not going anywhere, or they're not leveling up to some regard. And of course, I'm talking about my Japanese. That's all that I've been wanting to improve on ever since a year of not having any sort of formal Japanese classes that I usually have at this point in time. Especially more so at work, I use my Japanese. It's not the way that I use it is not the way for me to improve on my other aspects of the Japanese. Sure, I'm reading Japanese text on a day-to-day basis, but I'm not improving on my writing, my listening, even my reading comprehension, even if I'm reading Japanese on end. Since I mostly have to skim what I have to do, it's not an improvement because at times on end I don't really fully understand the essence of the text. And this is where things take a turn for the expected. I would say expected because there seemed to be a wave that happened over the course of 2020. And that wave was the VTuber wave. It was niche. It was a niche when, of course, Kizunai was a niche. I loved Kizunai. Now she's just a shade of her former self. But it existed for as long as I remember Kizunai existed. I've been getting random VTuber content from my friends at the NOHK who have been silently advocating it in the shadows of our Discord server. There was even one time where I helped a friend translate. I helped a friend proofread his translation for VTuber content he genuinely enjoyed. And I found that particularly interesting. My friend, who's a certified N5 with only like a basic knowledge of Japanese, trying his hand out at basic translation for Japanese, all because he enjoyed the content that he's watching. I found that particularly interesting. Of course, apart from the fact that they kept showing me Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes videos, which I genuinely enjoyed that game, top co-op game for me. Forever, or somewhere around the top, around August when I actually started to tune in to Hololive's 5th generation, and I found most of them particularly interesting because it's Japanese, and for me who doesn't get to listen to a lot of Japanese often, I kind of forced myself to listen to the Japanese that's there, and then Hololive English came out, and then it was all downhill from there. And that's what they call a rabbit hole, I guess. But I think that was a blessing in disguise, to a sense that the stagnation that I feel, as much as the platform becomes a escape, it also becomes a means for inspiration, especially for those who make their own songs, those who play really well. It's they become an indirect source of inspiration for me to make more content that's not focused on games. Maybe music sometime. I'm really going to make this year for me to learn how to make music, like for real. I can even buy equipment thanks to work. But yeah, as much as it became a distraction, escape from the real world. It was also a beacon of hope. Wow, beacon of hope, Asuna, where you at? For me to strive for something better in my life. Yeah. So in summary, as much as I think that 2020 should be cancelled altogether, there are some good takeaways from it. Some. But of course, overarching, it's still pretty bad. But hey, it was a fun ride. And I'm glad to have you all with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you soon, preferably with another game. Or maybe some of my sample content from music. Maybe next time.
Easy win. Easy 500 wins. And with that said, I am so distracted by Polka right now that I'm just gonna celebrate this 500 wins watching my favorite Fennec do clown stuff. See, Murlocs are good. They're not just for battlegrounds. Easy, very very easy. The first part of this stream is suffering. The second part was just pure easy.